From the post-millennial, breaking Trump working to set up a meeting between Putin and Zelenskyy after a call with Russian president. So everyone knows that, or most people know, that Donald Trump and President Putin met in Alaska this past weekend. I think it was Friday, right? Friday or Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Friday. So they met, and things were fairly uneventful. There's a lot of people that are critical because Donald Trump didn't, armbar Putin and tell him, get out of Ukraine, you meanie, or whatever. It was never actually an option. You're not going to get a peace situation in Ukraine without involving the Ukrainian president. So this is actually a great development. So from the post-millennial, following an afternoon of meeting with Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and other European leaders, President Donald Trump announced that he has called Russian President Vladimir Putin to begin scheduling a meeting between Putin and Zelenskyy. This comes as Trump has been seeking a path to peace between the two nations. I had a very good meeting with distinguished guests, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says, of Ukraine, President Emmanuel Macron of France, President Alexander Stubb of Finland, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni of Italy, Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom, Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany, Friedrich Merz, President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen, and Secretary General of NATO Mark Rutte in the White House, which ended in a further meeting in the Oval Office, Trump wrote on Truth Social. During the meeting, we discussed security guarantees for Ukraine, which guarantees would be provided by the various European countries with a coordination with the United States of America. Everyone is very happy about the possibility of peace for Russia-Ukraine. At the conclusion of the meetings, I called President Putin and began the arrangements for a meeting at a location to be determined between the President Putin and President Zelenskyy. After that meeting takes place, we will have a trilat, which would be two presidents plus myself. Again, this is a very good early step for a war that has been going on for almost 4 years. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff are coordinating with Russia and Ukraine. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's my favorite Trumpism of the second term. I don't think that he said thank you for attention to this matter during the first Trump administration, and I think this is definitely an upgrade. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this is actually going to produce something, or do you think that Putin is just stringing them along? Because honestly, I don't see how Putin is in a position where he has to do anything, right? Like he's kind of holding all the cards, in my opinion. So what do you think, Zeek?
I think it's a great first step, but I mean, Trump is at least doing something. It's not like before Biden. Biden just seemed confused the entire time. Biden just seemed like he just wanted the war to go on. He was going to throw more money at it and throw more money at Zelenskyy, and Zelenskyy was going to, just be like, hey, Grandpa, can I have $1 so I can go down and get some ice cream? And Biden's like, hey, go ahead, take, starts talking about like bears and his uncle being eaten by cannibals, So at least Trump is out there actually trying to broker peace, and it's way more than we've gotten over the past 4 years. And if Trump can actually make this happen, there's nothing the left can say about him anymore. They can't say, he came in there and he's this warmonger president and look at what he's doing. And they can't say anything about him anymore now because Trump took this awful mess that's been going on in Russia and Ukraine for the past 4 years and did something about it. So he's actually doing something, whether it comes to fruition or not, whether it comes to peace or not. At least he got in there and gave it a try. And if it fails, at least he can't say, well, I sat on my hands for the past 4 years and did nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's serious when Zelenskyy put on a suit.
Yeah.
He looked kind of good, too.
He did.
Like black chocolate.
Yeah, he even got a joke in, and he made the journalist laugh.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, the journalist who criticized him for not wearing a suit last time said he looked good this time. And then Zelenskyy said, you were in the same suit. And I was like, oh, that's not bad.
Not bad.
I don't like Zelenskyy, but I was like, not bad.
Yeah.
Got to laugh.
Putin does have all the cards. They have the strongest army over in that area. We don't want to get involved, and we're not going to try to get involved. So it's either they have all the cards. Like we were telling last time, Trump told Zelenskyy, we have the cards, or he doesn't have the cards, which he doesn't have the cards, and we don't even have the cards anymore as the United States of America. Putin and Russians have all the cards, and he's willing to grind out 20,000 people a month, 20,000 deaths. He's just willing to grind and put his people through the grinder to keep doing what he wants to do. And he'll keep doing it until Putin or Zelenskyy says, no, I'm done killing my people, because he's going to run out of people sooner or later. And if he doesn't run out of people, when he does run out of people, the Europeans aren't going to go inside. They're not going to help out. It's going to have to be America. And we will not I don't think we're going to let Trump will do that. We'll put us boots on the ground. I don't see it happening.
Chris, they were talking about the possibility of Article 5 like guarantees. Now they're not going to have Ukraine join NATO, and I think that's a smart move. I think
can't happen.
That's good for the whole world.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't think that the rules of NATO actually prevent it because there's an ongoing conflict. But if the Europeans and the United States offer protections that are Article 5 like, which means if Putin makes any more advances into Ukraine, that would mobilize a lot of NATO countries. Do you think that is compelling enough to get Zelenskyy to try to convince the Ukrainians that they need to make concessions? Now, I know that Ukraine has a stipulation in their constitution that they won't give up any more territory, but I'm not sure how important that is or how real that is, considering they gave up Crimea. Now, I don't know when that stipulation was put into their constitution. I don't know if it was prior to the invasion of Crimea or not. But do you think that that's enough of a guarantee to get Zelenskyy to move?
It should be, but I'm not certain that it will be because, I mean, for years now, Zelensky's basically been having a hostage negotiation with reality. And he's not. I think that he's unhinged enough and demented enough to not understand that he has to take this deal, no matter what happens.
Do you think he's just trying to save his own neck? Because there's a lot of people that think that if Putin does actually win, that Zelensky's a dead man.
Well, yeah. What are his own people going to do to him? Like, he's looking at a really bad situation when this is over. When it's finally over, like, I don't know. He needs to get to an island somewhere.
He'll come here.
You think so?
Yeah. He'll probably
Bethesda?
get like Bethesda. Yeah. Yeah, he'll be a politician here.
County?
No, he'll get like a CAA deal like Biden did after office, you know.
Florida?
He'll be a comedian. He'll be our next Ben Stiller. Yeah.
Oh, God.
He's going to be
Why do
doing
you-
songs
kinda
with
serious,
ding dong
though.
on the keyboard.
I am being
Yeah.
kind of serious.
Actually, I mean,
yeah, I could see that happening. Actually,
I mean, look, if it were a situation where the United States government has to pay for him, or he gets a late night gig, give him a late night gig. I don't have to tune in.
Yeah, Colbert. He could take over Colbert.
Yeah, that would be great. So the post-millennial went on addressing reporters after Zelenskyy arrived at the White House on Monday afternoon. Trump said that he was going to have a phone call with Putin right after these meetings today. Trump met with Putin in Anchorage, Alaska on Friday, where Trump said the two leaders agreed on many things, but not on others. Now, there was some stuff that I saw on X that when this was going on, Putin was making another push, and there were some offensives going on in Ukraine at the very same time that these meetings were happening. It's my sense that Putin doesn't actually want to play ball, and I don't know. I don't think that he has any reason to. Like, the Russians don't look at losses the way that Western countries do, right? Like, they take a lot of pride in how many people died fighting the Nazis. Like, that they use that as this is why Russia actually was the winners, because we died a lot. And I think that's kind of crazy personally. You're the winners when the other guys die a lot, but they consistently say, well, look, we were willing to put our butts on the line, and so many Russians died fighting the Nazis.
Very nationalist.
Pardon me?
Very nationalist, which is
Nationalist, but also like they don't value human life the way that we do in the West, right? Like, Americans, like, as much as we, valorize people that are willing to lay down their lives for others and for the cause and stuff, we don't think it's good when people die. And it seems like Russia kind of does. So if that is the kind of the case in Russia, what's the motivation to not keep sending dudes into the meat grinder, because they're going to have more people than the Ukrainians,
And they're an all-out military industrial right now. Like, it's all war-centered. The whole economy's...
I don't think they've activated their entire military capability.
No, but what I'm hearing from a lot of reports from news folks is like they're doing a lot of making munitions.
Okay.
And they're like, it's a war economy.
Okay.
So they're in it to win it. And they'll keep grinding out people, and they're going to keep grinding out rockets. To answer your question, 2016 is when when Ukraine said they're going to stop giving their lands after they lost Crimea.
So it is post-Crimea.
Yeah,
okay.
it's 2 years after, June 28th, 1996. And they're like, okay, we lost Crimea, so we're going to try not to lose anything else. Little did they know, Biden took presidency, and they're going to lose more.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I don't see them, giving back any of the territory that they've taken, and I don't see any reason why they. I mean, not that I'm pro-Russia, but I don't see any reason why they should. Like, there has to be some kind of, when you're dealing with international anarchy, which is what you've got with the way that most countries deal with each other, especially when it comes to a war. There's not a whole lot of reason. There's not a whole lot of reason for Russia to do it.
I think they're both in a position where they don't want to be the one that blinks. Like, Ukraine has invested so much and they've gotten so much back in return, and Zelenskyy now is like this international figure, so he can't back down, because then it makes it look like he's punking out a little bit. And of course Putin is like, no, I'm not backing down for anything. We are Russia, I am Putin, and we are going to see this through to the end. So I think for Trump, in order to make any real headway with this, he's going to have to make both sides think they've won somehow, which is a horrible, impossible task almost. But he's going to have to do it, or else it's going to turn into a huge mess, and it's going to become an even bigger mess than it was before.
How can you make a Ukraine feel like they won anything when they're going to probably end up losing their land? Maybe because they might win because they're stopped killing everyone, and they might have some men left alive to build up their country that they've already lost. I mean, I don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but like I think you agree that they're not going to get there's a really small chance to get their land back.
They're definitely not getting it back.
To that point, if the Russians are allowed to stay in the areas that they've occupied, they're going to build up. And even if they don't,
Russia will,
Russia's gonna build up their forces. And I think that Russia does have the desire to take all of Ukraine. I don't think that they have the desire to go into Poland. I don't think they're looking to take back Western or Eastern European countries. They might be looking to take back some of their former Soviet satellite countries, some of the countries that used to be Soviet republics, but some of those countries have joined NATO, and I don't think that they would actually move on the NATO countries at least. But I do think they want to take back Ukraine. I think that it'll just end up being just a staging, and it'll be, they'll wait until there's another president that they think can be a pushover the same way that either Obama or Biden was, and when they feel like they have the ability, I think that they'll just move on the rest, or another part of Ukraine, or the rest of Ukraine, however you want to call it.
Well, remember, China's also watching this as well, seeing what they're going to do about Hong Kong. They're kind of playing red light, green light right now, like trying to see like how the United States and the rest of the world is going to react to what I'm sorry? Taiwan, excuse me. Taiwan, my fault. They're looking at this and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do now. So, the response from the rest of the world and the reaction from the rest of the world is going to really determine what China does with Taiwan.
It seems like we're anticipating that to happen because Trump announced a thing with Intel, right? Did you see that story the other day?
No.
Where they might nationalize Intel to make chips here.
Because Intel the company, yes.
Intel the company, sorry. Because of, we get so many chips from Taiwan, and if they are invaded, then there goes so many of our chips. So it seems like our administration is expecting that.
Well, it's the worst kept secret. China's looking at Taiwan and salivating, and they're already picking their spots. We're gonna occupy over there. We're gonna do this. So I mean, it's the world's worst kept secret. So you got to plan for it.
Yep.
I mean, they've already built islands so they can stage up on the islands.
So it's my sense that there's a different. It's a different situation with China and Taiwan because the U.S. has a vested interest in Taiwan. The U.S. doesn't actually have an interest in Ukraine, right? Like
Hunter Biden did.
Well, I mean, but
and there were some biolabs,
but that's not something. Even if the biolabs were like real and something that the U.S. was using, it wasn't obvious and it wasn't a big deal. It's something the
chips are a big part of the economy
because
for sure.
Without the chips that Taiwan produces, the military doesn't have the ability to function. I don't know exactly what the amount was, but I heard a general talking about the number of magnets, rare earth magnets that are in an F-35. It's like a boatload, like a lot of magnets, and those they get from, I don't know if they get them from China or not, but the point I'm making is there's a lot of reason for the U.S. to actually try to defend Taiwan, whereas, honestly, what we're doing in Ukraine is just because the world kind of expects us to, because we're
it's charity with our tax dollars.
Yeah.
I think it's more, you had the Bidens who were heavily invested in Ukraine,
big time.
So they were more looking out for their own interests and then sort of gaslighted the rest of the United States into, oh, no, we have to protect them because look at Russia. Russia are evil.
Yep.
But, I agree with what you're saying, Phil. Taiwan is more of an interest of all Americans that we could all get involved in and say, hey, listen, you can't invade them. That directly affects us rather than Ukraine, which was like, Biden went, oh, hell no, we gotta protect them, Yeah.
And to your point, Shane, like, I don't think that it's a good idea to nationalize a company.
Same.
But I do think that if the United States wants to say we're going to, start a company or start a put a national effort, something like the Manhattan Project, to reindustrialize at least the chips that we need for national defense.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Well, I'm opposed to nationalizing companies for sure. And Intel is an inferior chip maker, but they like it because they make them here,
Well, I mean, so would you be against the government, working on a project that was similar to the Manhattan Project in order to produce chips and stuff here?
I don't
Because,
want the
that's jobs.
Yeah, I don't trust them to do anything properly, so I trust them to do nothing.
Wait, so are you for that? Would you be for that?
I'm against them nationalizing a company.
But would you be okay with the government working with existing companies to do something like the Manhattan Project in order
No, because I'm against it now because that's what Stargate is too, with AI. It's all those companies putting in a lot of money, AI and Oracle, to do something alongside the government, and I don't trust that as well, as I think that's ushering in a dystopia.
Real quick on your rare earth magnets, China produces 90% of the world's supply. So China has
Wow.
How many pounds of magnets are in an F-35?
Let me check that out. But probably a
great
lot.
question.
A boatload.
Very
A
true.
boatload.
Plane load.
Oh, there's truckloads.
But also, if Ukraine became Russia tomorrow, it wouldn't affect us at all. But if Taiwan lost to China, it would affect us a lot.
Yeah. So we've got this breaking information here, breaking news. There is a coal freighter that just exploded in Baltimore Harbor from the post-millennial. Flames were seen erupting from a ship in Baltimore Harbor on Monday evening per WMAR-2. The Baltimore County Fire Department confirmed an explosion occurred on a coal tanker near the site of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which still has not been rebuilt, and that was collapsed in 2024. The Coast Guard is reportedly en route to inspect the scene.
Yeah, so I've got the video. I haven't watched yet, but I assume it will be. I guess it's graphic warning if you want to say so, but
Probably, I mean, it's graphic because it's
it's just an explosion. I don't know if anyone died or anything. So, but yeah, it just happened. Okay. Like literally a minute ago,
Right by the collapsed
like
bridge.
8 o'clock, I think it was.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Wait, are they going underneath the bridge, or they look like they're going to run into
No,
it?
they're going by it.
Okay.
It looks like right between it at the same time. But again,
In between where there's no more bridge.
the bridge still isn't fixed, by the way.
Good job, Baltimore. You guys.
Unreal.
They have nobody can read there. They got lots of money for schooling.
Palisades
They
are
can't
still
do anything.
burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Malibu,
Maui's still
Maui, I mean,
Maui.
burnt out.
East Palestine's not looking so hot.
and Malibu too, from like
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
Can't do anything.
Camp
Get
Love,
anything done in the United States.
North Carolina. Don't forget about them.
It's a
Yeah.
shame. It's a shame. Yeah.
I feel like in the United States right now, our check engine light's on.
Oh,
You've got like it's been on for a while.
Yeah.
And our check engine light is on, and it's a woman that's actually in the driver's seat. Ignore it. Come on, ladies. You know it's true.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.